Dear students, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you? I hope best for you. I Mukesh Kumar welcomes you to online Mukesh Online Academy. आपका मुकेश ऑनलाइन एकेडमी में स्वागत है and we are doing the science of class 10 from the NCERT book and we are doing the chapter 2 that is the acid, base and salts. Okay, and whatever boards are following the NCERT book, those students can benefit from these videos and more or less the topics are same. Okay, chemistry is same everywhere, so everybody can benefit from this. Okay, and we have already covered this chapter into the previous 9 videos. I hope you must have seen those videos, okay, in which we have covered about the properties of acids, bases, acid base indicators. We covered about the what happens to the bases or acids in the aqueous solutions. Some questions we did over that, okay, and we have done in the last video we had covered about the strong and weak acids and the strong and weak bases. Okay, I hope you must have seen that. If you have not still seen, I have given the links into the description, so it is better to watch that before watching this video. Okay, and one usual tip: whenever you are watching any study related video, keep a notebook and pen with you. Note the key points, take the short notes, make a summary. This will help you to revise into the exam in a quick way, because otherwise it becomes too much to revise into the exam, and I hope you must be doing that. Okay, and if you have any query, if you have any doubt about any topic about this video or about this topic, okay, then you can write to me on the WhatsApp or email, or you can write to the comment section. And if you want to get the free notes of each and every chapter, then also you can write to me on the WhatsApp or email. We will be happy to provide you. If you want to get the live online classes, okay, interactive online classes, then also you can write to me on the WhatsApp or email. So we will be happy to share the details with you. Okay, both group and individual. Okay, so I hope you must be enjoying the videos and you must be getting the knowledge. Kindly share it with your friends, subscribe to it, and ask your friend to subscribe. Okay, and in this video we will do the uses of acids and base, different acids, different base that we have taken, and we will do the how strong are the acid and base solutions. Some part of it we will cover in this video, and some part of it we will cover into the next video, that is the pH scale. Okay, so now let's start. So dear students, so today in this video we will do the uses of acids. Okay, in the last video we had covered about the strong and weak acids and strong and weak bases. So now in this video we will cover the uses of these acids and bases. Okay, both strong acid and strong base, and same way the strong base and weak base. Okay, and we will also do some questions into this. Okay, on the basis of this strong and weak acids and base. So now let's do first the uses of organic acids. First is the uses of organic acid. Okay, as we already know that the organic acids are those acids which do not completely dissociate into water. We can drink them also. Their diluted solutions are good for health, and they are the ingredient of many acids also. Okay, so let's cover it one by one. Okay, so the first organic acid we have, that is widespread use, acetic acid, that is in the form of vinegar. Okay, acetic acid in the form of vinegar. Vinegar, we already know that it is used in our homes also. Okay, for the different kind of purposes, like pickles. In pickles we use, in chow means it is put. Okay, there are so many uses of the vinegar that are at home. So what is the use of it? Used in pickles and tomato ketchup. Okay, means basically it is used as a preservative. Okay, it preserves the different food ingredients. Okay, the second one, tartaric acid. Tartaric acid also has got the widespread use. Okay, like if you have heard about the tartary in Hindi, okay, this is normally used in curry also, the curry that we use at home, okay, to make, means the very small amount of tartaric acid is sufficient to make it, to make that vegetable or anything very sharp, okay. So it has widespread use, and as we study later in this chapter also, that is used to make the baking powder, okay. We use normally the baking soda in our different things, ingredients, so it will be used in the baking powder, used in used in baking powder, okay. Now the third one, that is also very common, the carbonic acid, okay. See, most of us drink the fizzy drinks like Pepsi, Coca-Cola. There are so many things which are just carbonated water also, soda water we call that. So that all these things contains the carbonic acid. So in the fizzy drinks, the carbonic acid is used because it produces the carbon dioxide. Okay, it contains the carbon dioxide gas, and carbon dioxide gas produces the effervescence and fizziness. Okay, so it is used into the fizzy drinks. Used in fizzy drink and soda water. Okay, so these are the uses of the, these are the some of the organic acids that we use in our common daily life. And most of us, you know that most of the things that we use, like tomato, in that tomato we use the oxalic acid, okay, like we use the lemon, oranges, mossby, all these contain the citric acid. So all these things, you know, most of the things we consume are the organic acids in our daily life. Okay, so you already know the widespread uses of those. So these are the some of the things that we have written. Now the second is the use of mineral acids like hydrochloric acid, like nitric acid, like sulfuric acid. So we will cover the uses of mineral acids, or you can say the strong acid. Okay, so they have got the industrial uses. Okay, like first that we have studied is the sulfuric acid. As we know the formula, this is the H2SO4. Okay, so sulfuric acid has got the widespread use, like in the fertilizers like ammonium sulfate, okay, which contains the nitrogen also and sulfur also. Like in paints it is used, like in dyes it is used, okay, used in making, or you can say manufacture of fertilizers like ammonium sulfate, like paint, like dyes. Dye means which are used to give the colors, okay, like chemicals, different chemicals, from the different chemicals it is used, okay, like different plastic, in to make the different plastics it is sulfuric acid is used, okay, synthetic fibers, okay, like in the treatment of wool and etc., okay, like detergents, there are so many detergents in the manufacture of this, the sulfuric acid used, explosive, okay, different kind of explosives are also made from the sulfuric acid, okay, and car batteries which are not dry. These days we most of the time get the dry batteries, but we get at home also and in the trucks also, and there are some batteries which require the regular maintenance, like regular putting of the water into that, okay. So that water is the acidic water that contains the sulfuric acid, very mild sulfuric acid, okay. So sulfuric acid is used in making manufacture of fertilizers like ammonium sulfate, paints, dyes, chemicals, plastics, synthetic fibers, detergents, explosives, and car batteries. Now the second one we have the nitric acid. Nitric acid. Okay, so this has also got the widespread uses in the industry, like in making fertilizers of ammonium nitrate. Okay, this is also given to give the nitrogen to the plants basically. Okay, so explosives like trinitro-toluene dynamite you must have heard. So it is made from the toluene and the nitric acid. Okay, and dyes and plastics it is used to make them. Okay, so we will write that used in making fertilizers like ammonium nitrate, explosives like TNT, and TNT, the full name of TNT is trinitro toluene. Okay, so this is T, this is N, this is T. Okay, this is also known as the dynamite, which was discovered by the, which was invented by the Alfred Nobel, and whose name the Nobel Prize is given. Okay, dyes and plastic. Okay, so again, nitric acid is used in making fertilizers like ammonium nitrate, explosives like TNT. The full name of the TNT is trinitrotoluene. So it is also known as the dynamite and was discovered by, was invented by the Alfred Nobel, in whose name the Nobel Prize is given. Okay, dyes and plastics. The third one is we have hydrochloric acid. Okay, so hydrochloric acid also has got the widespread uses in the industry, used in so many things. Okay, like suppose if we have something oil sheets, so they have the deposits of the oil onto the over there, so it is used to remove the oil from the iron sheets or the steel sheets before using them. Okay, so for removing oxide film from steel, okay, before they are galvanized. Okay, see, as we already know that we do the galvanization of steel to prevent it from the rusting. Okay, but before that, since immediately it produces, whenever the steel or iron objects come into the atmosphere, they produces a layer of the oxide over them. Okay, that is the rust basically. So before we galvanize any steel object, okay, so then the their first oxide film is removed with the help of the hydrochloric acid. Okay, next is the for removing scale deposit. Scale deposit means like oil deposits, any other thing. Okay, from inside the boiler. See, the boilers are the things which are used for boiling the different chemicals, and while boiling, some deposits becomes prominent on the inside. So we use the hydrochloric acid to remove those deposits. Okay, in making dyes stuff, like dyes which are used for the different colors. Okay, textile, food, and leather industries, they have also got the different. Okay, so now let's repeat for the hydrochloric acid. It is used for removing oxide film from the steel objects before they are galvanized. Galvanization is basically the deposit of the zinc layer over the iron objects. Okay, so for this purpose we have to first remove the oxide layer, because it is the rust which may take away the zinc layer also. Okay, and second, to remove the scale deposit from inside the boilers. Boilers are the different pots or utensils in which the different chemicals are boiled. So when we boil the chemicals, so there are some deposits. So before just putting the new substance into that, they are just these deposits are removed with the help of hydrochloric acid, and they are used in making the dye stuffs, textile, food, and leather industries. These industries also they are used. I hope you would have got the uses of the mineral acids. So we have covered the uses of acids, okay, uses of organic acids and uses of mineral acids. Clear? Now we will do the uses of the bases, both strong base and weak base. The first one is NaOH. NaOH means sodium hydroxide, and sodium hydroxide is also known as the caustic soda. Okay, so it has got the widespread use in the industry. Okay, so let's see what are their uses in the industry. Like when we are making the soap from the oils, actually the soaps and detergents are made from the oils, mainly the soap. So to make the soap, that is called the saponification, the sodium hydroxide is used. Okay, and if you remember the class 8, you have studied the fibers, and the first semi-synthetic fiber was the rayon, that is the artificial silk, that was made from the treatment of the wood pulp with the help of the sodium hydroxide. So it is used in making the rayon fiber also, which is used as the artificial silk, used in making or manufacture of soap, paper, and a synthetic fiber called rayon. Okay, this is the first. This is the use of the sodium hydroxide. There are so many uses. We are not writing all the uses here. We have written the few uses here. Okay. The second one, CaOH whole twice. That is the slate lime, and also known as the chemical name is calcium hydroxide. Okay, which is there has very wide. Clear? So we use the dry slate lime for the manufacture of the bleaching powder that you will study later into this chapter. Okay, so used in making bleaching powder. Okay, bleaching powder means which is used to remove the colors. Okay, we will study later when we study the salts. After that, we will study later in this chapter the bleaching powder. The third one is we have MgOH whole twice. MgOH whole twice means magnesium hydroxide. Okay, and the magnesium hydroxide is also known as the milk of magnesia. Okay, see the milk of magnesia, as we have studied so many times into class 8 also, it is used to, since it is a mild base, it is not a very strong base. The upper two one that we have studied, they are the strong base. Okay, but the magnesium hydroxide is a mild base. Okay, it does not means you can say a weak base. So whenever we have the acidity in our stomach, we use the magnesium hydroxide or milk of magnesia to remove the acidity. Okay, so use as an antacid to neutralize excess acid in the stomach and cure indigestion. Okay, most of us we use this kind of things like diazine we use. Okay, the fourth one is sodium carbonate, Na2CO3. Okay, this is called the sodium carbonate. See, although it is not a pure base, it is a salt, but since it has got the basic properties, since it is a basic salt, that we will study why is it a basic salt into the salts section. But since this is a basic salt, so it has also got the uses like a base also. Okay, so we use this to make the washing soda, used in making washing soda. We will use the washing soda later into this chapter. Washing soda is not only the Na2CO3, it is the having the water of crystallization also. So it is the anhydrous sodium carbonate. So it is used in making washing soda and for softening hard water. You know, as most of us know that when the water has got certain salts like calcium chloride, like magnesium chloride dissolved into that, then it becomes hard, and in the hard water it becomes difficult to use the soap. It doesn't make the leather, झाग नहीं बनाता, ठीक है, doesn't make the leather in the hard water. So to make, even it is not good for the health also, because it has got the different salts which are not good for the body also. So to make the water soft, we use the sodium carbonate. Okay, and the next one is NaSCO3. This is the sodium hydrogen carbonate. Okay, this is also known as the baking soda. Okay, so baking soda is used in indigestion also, just like the magnesium hydroxide, but is also a mild base, although it is a salt. Remember, both Na2CO3 and NaSCO3 are the salts. They are not actual base. Since they are the basic salts, they are not the neutral salts. So they have got the uses like base. Okay, and baking soda we use for the antacid also. Baking soda we use to make the pakoras also, to uh, in the cooking industry also, in the cakes also, and it is an ingredient of baking powder also. Okay, used in cooking food. Okay, for making baking powder. Okay, as an antacid, just like magnesium hydroxide, to cure indigestion, and used in soda acid fire ashes. Okay, as we have studied when we studied the properties of acids. So we had studied the reaction of acids with the with the carbonates and metal by hydrogen carbonates, and this sodium hydrogen carbonate is used along with the sulfuric acid. Okay, to make the soda acid fire extinguisher. What happens when they both mix together? Okay, they produce the carbon dioxide and water just lowers down the temperature, and carbon dioxide cuts the supply of air and extinguishes the fire. Okay, so this is how it works in the soda acid fire extinguisher. So now let's repeat. See, the sodium hydroxide, which is called the caustic soda, which is used in the making or manufacture of the soap, paper and synthetic fiber, called rayon. Rayon is an artificial silk which is made from the treatment of the wood pulp with the sodium hydroxide. Second is the slaked lime or calcium hydroxide. It has also got the widespread uses. If it is in the form of slaked lime, then used for making the bleaching powder, and the mixture of slaked lime and lime water is used as a whitewash also, as we have studied into the first chapter. The magnesium hydroxide, since it is a mild base, so it is used as a antacid to cure the acidity. Okay, and sodium carbonate and sodium hydrogen carbonates are not the actual bases, they are the salts but basic in nature. And why are they basic in nature, that we will study into the salt section. So the sodium carbonate is used for making the baking soda and for softening the hard water, and sodium hydrogen carbonate is used in the food industry, like to make the baking powder, to cure the indigestion like antacid. Okay, and in the soda acid fire extinguishers. So these are the uses of acids and different bases. We have covered few acids and few bases. Now we will do the one question on the strong acid and strong weak acids. Okay, we have the question like equal lengths of the magnesium ribbon is taken in the test tube A and test tube B. Hydrochloric acid in the test tube A and the while acetic acid in the test tube B. Okay, in which test tube will the fizzing occur more vigorously and why? Okay, so let's just make a figure. Okay, this is the test tube A and this is the test tube B. Okay, this is A and this is B, and we have taken the magnesium ribbon like this, equal length in both. This is the magnesium ribbon, this is the magnesium ribbon. Okay, and in the test tube A, hydrochloric acid is put. So this is the hydrochloric acid that we have put into the test tube A, and in the test tube B, equal volume of acetic acid is put. CH3COOH. This is called the acetic acid or ethanoic acid. So we have to find in which test tube will the fizzing occur more vigorously and why. As we already know, as we have already studied, that the hydrochloric acid is a strong acid and the acetic acid, or you can say the ethanoic acid, is a weak acid. And we had studied into the last video, the strong acids ionize completely into the water and produces the more amount of the or more concentration of the hydrogen ions. Okay, while the weak acid does not ionize completely, they ionize partially, and they do not produce the large amount of the hydrogen ions. So that means if the number of hydrogens are more into the hydrochloric acid, so that means more hydrogen ions will react with the magnesium ribbon. Okay, and the hydrogen gas will be produced. Okay, so the fizzing will occur more vigorously into the first test tube, and since it has got the less number of hydrogen ions, so the hydrogen gas will be produced less, so it will see the less number of fizzing. Fizzing means the bubbles that will come out as a gas. Okay, so our answer is the test tube A. This is our answer, and we have to now write the reason. Okay, so now let's write the reason. HCl is a strong acid, and CH3COOH is a weak acid. So HCl should contain much greater amount of hydrogen ion in it than acetic acid. Okay, fizzing is due to the evolution of hydrogen gas produced by action of acid on magnesium ribbon. As tube A has a greater number of hydrogen ions than tube B, so more vigorous reaction will occur in tube A than B, and more hydrogen gas will be produced. Okay, now let's repeat. HCl, since HCl is a strong acid and CH3COH is a weak acid, so HCl should contain much greater amount of hydrogen ions in it than acetic acid, because the hydrochloric acid will ionize completely and the acetic acid will ionize partially. Okay, so since the fizzing is occurring, means fizzing, the bubbles which are coming, which is because of the production of the hydrogen gas. Okay, so why is the hydrogen gas? Because the magnesium ribbon, means the metal, is reacting with the acid, either it is HCl acid or it is acetic acid. Okay, since because the hydrochloric acid contains the much greater amount of hydrogen, so the more hydrogen will be produced in the test tube A and the less hydrogen will be produced into the test tube B. So more fizzing will occur in the test A and less fizzing will occur into the test B. I hope you have understood this question clearly. Now let's do how strong are the acid and base solutions. Okay, or you can say the strength of acid and base solutions. Next we have how strong are acid and base solutions, or you can say that strength of acid and base solution. That means we have to study the pH. Okay, see, normally what happens when we are just testing the acid and base solutions with the help of any litmus paper or any kind of indicator that we had studied initially, we just come to know that it is either acidic or basic, but we never come to know whether it is a strong acid or whether it is a strong base. Okay, so here we have been given a pH scale according to which we can come to know that whether it is a strong acid or it is a weak acid, or whether it is a strong base or whether it is a weak base. Means we can come to know the strength of acid and base solutions. Okay, how? See, you know, water basically, because of the presence of some gases into it, it complete little bit ionized. Okay, if it is a pure water, means the distilled water, then it will not be ionized, since when it comes into the air, so some kind of gases like carbon dioxide, some of it get dissolved into it, so because of that it becomes partially ionized. It makes the hydrogen ions and it makes the hydrogen ions. Okay, but in the pure water, the concentration of hydrogen ion is same as the concentration of hydroxide ion. Okay, so water is slightly ionized into hydrogen ions, and hydroxide ion. Okay, but in pure water, concentration of hydrogen ions is equal to concentration of hydroxide ion. What does it mean? When both have got the same number of, like if we have the two hydrogen ions and two hydroxide ions, so they are completely neutralizing each other, so water is a neutral. Okay, neither it is acidic nor it is basic. So pure water is neither acidic nor, okay, but you know what happens when we dissolve some acid into the water. So as we have studied, when the acid is dissolved into the water, it will produce the hydrogen ions. Okay, so that means the hydrogen ions are produced when the acid is dissolved into the water. But already there are hydrogen ions present because of the water also. So that means the concentration of hydrogen ions even become more. But there are already hydroxide ions present into that also. But the total number of hydrogen ions becomes more than the total number of hydroxide ions. Because of that, the acidic solution becomes the acidic solution. But it also contains the hydroxide ions also, which are present into the base. Okay, acid produce hydrogen ions in water. So acid solutions in water have excess of hydrogen ions. Okay. Acidic solutions also contain OH minus AQ ions. These are hydroxide ions which come from ionization of water. But concentration of hydroxide ions in acid solutions is much less than concentration of hydrogen. So you can say in acid solutions the concentration of hydrogen ions is more than concentration of hydroxide. Okay, now comes to the base. See, when we dissolve the base into the water, so the bases will produce the hydroxide ions. There are already hydroxide ions present into the water, present because of the dissociation of water. Okay, so that means the total number of hydroxide ions becomes more, but the basic solution also contains the hydrogen ions which are coming from the ionization of water, but the number of concentration of hydrogen ions will be much less than the concentration of the hydroxide ion. So the solution is basic. Okay, the basic solutions produce hydroxide ion in water. So basic solutions in water have excess of hydroxide ion. Basic solutions also contain hydrogen ions, H plus AQ ions, which come from ionization of water. But concentration of hydrogen ions is much less than concentration of hydroxide ion. Okay, so in basic solutions, concentration of hydrogen ion is less than concentration of hydroxide. Okay, so sometimes they ask you a question: do the acidic solutions and basic solutions also contain the both kind of ions? Yes, the acid solutions also contain the hydroxide ions, and the basic solutions also contain the hydrogen ions, but their relative concentrations are different. If it is acidic solution, then it will have the more concentration of hydrogen ions than the hydroxide ions. If it is basic solution, then it will have more concentration of hydroxide ions than hydrogen ions. And from where these hydrogen ions, hydroxide ions comes, the excess ions from the ionization of water. So we can say that so both acidic as well as basic solutions contain both hydrogen ions and hydroxide ions, but their relative concentrations are different. I hope you have understood it. Okay, suppose if we want to determine the strength of any acidic or basic solutions, so we can determine the strength of these both acidic and basic solutions on the basis of the relative concentration of hydrogen and hydroxide ions. Okay, thus the strength of any solution of an acid or base can be determined from the concentration of H plus AQ ions or OH minus AQ ions in the solute. Now let's repeat it. See, when we have to just check how strongly, means whether it is a strong acid or weak acid, whether it is a strong base or weak base, how can we determine it? Okay, that is the point here that we want to study. See, water is slightly ionized into the hydrogen and hydroxide ions, but their concentrations are same. Because of that, since the hydrogen ions and hydroxide ions are equal in number, so that means the solution remains the neutral. So we can say the water is neutral, neither it is acidic nor it is basic. But when we put the acid into it, then it also produces the hydrogen ions, already we have the hydrogen ions present into the water. So that means the relative concentration of hydrogen ions will become more, and the acid solution also contains the hydroxide ions, which is coming from the dissociation of water, but the concentration of hydrogen is more and the concentration of hydroxide ion is less. Okay. Similarly, when we put the base into the water, so it also produces the hydroxide ions. There are already hydroxide ions present into the water. Okay, there are already hydrogen ions present into the water. So the basic solution also contains the hydrogen ions, but the concentration of hydroxide ion becomes more and hydrogen ion becomes less. Okay, so you can say that whether it is acidic solution or basic solution, both contains the hydrogen ion and hydroxide ions, but their relative concentrations are different. If the concentration of hydrogen ion is more than the hydroxide ion, the solution will be acidic. If the concentration of hydrogen ion is less than the hydroxide ion, means the hydroxide ions are more, then it will be a basic solution. So this will help you. The relative concentration will help us to determine. See, more is the difference between the hydrogen ion concentration and hydroxide ion concentration. More strong it will be acid or base. If there is a less difference, then it will be less strong. You can see the weak. Okay, I hope you would have understood this topic. So students, today we have done the uses of acids and base, and we have done one question based on the strong and weak base acids, and then we have done the how strong are acids and base solutions. Now it will be continued in the form of pH scale. Okay, so we will continue in the next video the pH scale. So dear students, in the next video we will continue with the pH scale. Okay, so we have just little part of this pH scale into this video, and the full pH scale we will do into the next video. So thank you so much for your watching. Write your comments about the video, any query, any doubt about the topic into the comment box, or you can write to me on the WhatsApp or email also, which I have given into the description. Okay, and if you want to get the free notes of each and every chapter, then also you can write to me on the WhatsApp or email. And if you want to get the live online classes interactive, where we can face both each other, okay, then also you can write to me on the WhatsApp or email. So we will be happy to share the details with you. And I hope you must be getting knowledge from my videos. You must be making the short notes, key notes, okay, and making the summary also. Okay, kindly share it with your friends, subscribe to it, ask your friend to subscribe. Thank you so much.